Oh my God, I should have thought of this way better. Um, um,
Okay, so I basically did a terrible job explaining everything. Hello, my name is Jasper. I'm a computer science student, and this channel will basically just be a recording of me and how this stuff actually works. I'm not pretending to know how any of these things work and how building projects actually works. I tend to get stuck a lot, so don't let me influence you in any capacity or whatsoever. This is me, but this is also me, and I do a bunch of things outside of computer science, but it is something I truly love and I want to learn and get better at it. So I hope that this keeps me motivated and keeps me learning. If you're also learning computer science or thinking about it, I hope this gives you some valuable insight on how my journey is um is a struggle for me. So I hope you enjoy and I hope I stick with it.
I'm not too familiar with the website, but I guess problems, and there's all these different kinds of like question types. Um, I think ones that are probably most comfortable with are strings, math, matrices, binary search, uh, counting, enumeration. I feel like this would probably be my strong suit. Um, Combinatorics, I enjoy doing that in math. I hate probability and statistics, so that is not gonna be my strong suit at all. Yeah, I also don't know a whole lot. So without further ado, let me just not embarrass myself. Oh God, why is there so many hard questions? I don't even want to click on it. 85% of people have done this that have attempted it. If I don't, sorry, if I don't get this, I'm just gonna drop out of school. All right. Um, I think for this, we'll just be navigating back and forth between C and Python. They're probably my best coding languages. I've done a little bit of C++ and a little bit of Java, but Python and C are definitely my favorite, or not favorite, the two that I'm best in. That was embarrassing. I was just figuring out the website the other day. Okay, let's see what we have here. Let me just yeet, and let me just. All right, let me actually just this. Hold on, this is funny. This is actually really funny. This is my attempt at my last question. Let me just. Let me just. That was just bad. I'll get that ready. I was moving up.
All right, let me just save the entire world some time. I'm terrible at this, and I'm going to skip like probably the first 35 minutes of this recording so we can get to the part where I'm actually starting to understand it. I'll show you guys little clippets of me thinking I'm understanding it, but honestly, for the first half hour, it was really rough because I did not understand a main part of the algorithm. But, it is what it is.
Over here. All right. Um. All right. Given an array of integers array and three integers a, b, and c, you need to find.
Basically, a large portion of what this question is asking is you get an array of numbers, and out of all the three number combinations of that array, it needs to follow the following rule set that you can see in the description. Basically, that means any solution to this will be O of n raised to the third. I'm pretty sure. I actually don't know. Somebody should probably double check that because I have no idea. And essentially, you need to go through every combination to make sure that these, and then with the rule set to make sure that these are valid.
What if. Hold on. What if I do a for loop to iterate through every element? And then I check how many elements. Like, so, let me think. If I check for every element in the first.
You're welcome. I'm not going to make you sit through all of this, so I will speed up all the footage. I don't know if I'll cut most of it out or speed it up. Honestly, we'll see. I think I'll probably just speed it up and then let my final solution and some of the more interesting moments where it's like, aha, I think I understand it. Spoiler alert, I definitely did not understand
right?
it.
Ooh, no, is less than or equal to a, right? If we're gonna get back to no. So obviously my message pad is coming back. Matter of fact. So basically, I've got this array of numbers.
I would like to say that this is the moment that I started to understand things, but in theory, I actually wasn't even like remotely close. Like I was so far from the answer. Like where are we at? We are at minutes I don't even know. We're like at minute 10 or something like that in the total time of me recording. This recording is 55 minutes long. Like I wasn't close.
Are we low-key getting the 9 and 7? A. Am I not calling A properly? No, I am. Array sub 0. Uh,
This was probably the portion of the exercise that I struggled on the most, and it was probably just the fundamental idea of counting triplets, and I hadn't really realized the idea of combinations yet. And honestly, the algorithm to make every combination wasn't really like at the forefront of my mind. I'm starting to get to it by using multiple for loops. As you can see below, I'm kind of scratching out photos and not photos, pictures, and trying to wrap my head around of how am I going to get all these combinations within the time complexity of the question. And I feel like looking at it in retrospect, like it seems so simple. Here, this is me searching it up. This is me admitting defeat, but not really. I'm honestly just looking up how to implement the combinations within this following question. But yeah, once I understood the way to get the combinations, it was just a matter of time of implementing
or is that
the
not what it means by that? Because, wait,
the
I'm kind of
restriction
sus.
set on
Is
the question
because
from the
backwards would
instructions.
alter the algorithm that it's asking for. Would it not? Wait, how did I pass case 2? Oh, okay. I feel like it has to be, no? Wait! Wait. We are somewhere. We are somewhere. Hold on. Let me cook. Let me cook. Let me cook. Now, oh crap. My previous failure was still on there. Okay. Now that we have all possible combinations, that big permutations is just n choose k divided by n, but you know what I mean.
This is basically like the biggest breakthrough that I had was when I was able to get all combinations printed out and I was able to index through it. Honestly, from this point onward, it was literally just finalizing some touches on the questionnaire part, which took a really long time, and I will just let it show you itself why it took such a long time, but I will just kind of skip to it so you don't have to watch me suffer through all that.
Guys, my microphone died. That was literally the most embarrassing thing of my life. Oh, we're not returning 10. We have, how did we get to 20? Wait, we just, hold on. Wait, wait, hold on. Okay, I promise you, I'm not going anywhere. I have to send out an internship email tonight still, and I have to send that, and that takes priority over this. What if I just write it in C? Will the time complexity just go down? Probably not. Right, I'll be
Basically,
right
the
back.
comment I just made is because I have made every possible combination out of the following digits given and passed through the array. You obviously don't want to do it this way. You want to instead modify every time you're filling each triplet. You want to make sure that the first two conditions are met. Because if the first two conditions aren't met, there's no point in filling in the rest of the array. Therefore, I had so many extra triplets that were never going to pass the final check. This was a really big problem, and the code written here ended up not working because it failed the time complexity, unfortunately. So I am going to skip through all of that until my smart brain realizes that I can just move the if statement into and after the second for loop to compare the first element I and J.
I'm gonna time out again. I, oh my God. Honestly, I feel like it's kind of an achievement to get point. I mean, only 0.61 people. Oh my. Okay, I don't even want to look at other people's answers because it's gonna make me feel sad. What do most people do?
Basically, none of the answers really varied by much, except I never established a variable called length. So every time I had to reestablish the length of the array, it would take time, obviously, and that time builds up when you're going through thousands and thousands of numbers over and over and over, especially with the long time complexity of this question. Therefore, I had a very slow time complexity. But my actual solution itself was pretty similar to most people's, and they didn't vary so much. Lastly, I just checked how this was possible in C. Obviously, in C, you don't know the size of the array unless it's passed through the parameter, which I was just double checking to make sure that it was there because I would have no idea how to solve it. Otherwise, maybe there was something I didn't know yet, but I just wanted to make sure and double check to see if I could also solve this exact same question in C. And as shown, it passed through as well, and knowingly so, I knew I could also solve it in C and called it a day. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day and watching me absolutely struggle so much on this easy question. I will say it is the first of many, and I hope to solve many, many, many more. And it is humble beginnings around here. And I'm honestly excited to see what kind of things are next. And I am excited to learn. And I hope that I continue on learning. Here, as you can see, I'm checking how this would work in C. And again, like I said, you passed in the int size through the parameter. If you don't know why, it's not hard to explain, but it's kind of long to explain, and don't want to drag this video on. Thank you, and if you enjoyed, please subscribe.